Start this recording. And then let me know if you guys could see my screen. And Jim's still gonna be all right, bet. Screen good? All right. I want to wait for a little bit more people since I did start about a minute early before I start to review the markets. What up? What up? Ooh, what's up, Justin? Harps, what's up? Give it about a minute or two. What's up, Sam? Could you go over why I'm short some flat today, but in hindsight, sell the strengths? But yeah, I'm gonna go over all three markets. And then we'll get to questions in between or after, either way. What's up? What's up? Give it about another minute. You doing always live stream Friday like this? No, it's gonna be. There's no like fixed schedule. It'll be just whoever can do what stream, but they're for exclusive like the live analysis. It'll just be different. But there'll be like 3 days. If you got Pop Smoke voice night. All right. So for indices here, Asia expansion made sense. If you watch my recap, if we open up near a key level or if the key level was hit in the PM session, we can afford a Asia reversal. So in this case, we could see how YM here actually took this high previously yesterday, very early around Monday 1400, and some ES actually broke this SMT here, right? A little late in the day, so Asia can open either reverse from previous day high or just continue the reversal already. And in this case, we just continued. What's it called? NQ actually held it, right? So we have this SMT here at 10. It was actually a two-stage. You see how 10 a.m.'s bearish here, bullish here. Then we get the two-stage like this. So this is technically our C2 now, just like this one. And YM is obviously just consolidating here. We had a very decoupled Asia. NQ was expanding, right? YM was just kind of consolidating, and you can already tell that this is kind of the foreseen distribution on NQ, and this is kind of just YM waiting because of the signatures NQ gives. So obviously this low here gets failed to manipulate, and this day can't afford a bullish day anymore, right? If it does, it's going to be a reversal candle because we have a very large wick already in Asia session. So with this signature here, what we know about inside bars. So if I replay this is just a consolidation. Like if I go in the lower time frames, this is just consolidating, right? And consolidations are continuation signatures. So following the manipulation of this low, it's a failure to manipulate. So we should see these assets catch up. But YM's kind of just waiting because there's a driver in the next 4-hour candle. So it's obviously going to just wait for that for a manipulation. And then we get exactly that. C2 closure. So you trade C3. In this case, you would want to trade YM, of course, because NQ. You have the draw on liquidity, but this, again, is not 100% going to get hit. You always want to be in a model inside of a model here. So in NQ, you're kind of just shorting the low of day, anticipating this DOL to get hit. But in reality, you want a retracement capped off by SMT, and then you want to trade this to the retracement low, and then also your drawn liquidity low. And for this, we don't have a retracement low to target. If we're entering here, we're just kind of assuming we're gonna hit this DOL, and you don't want to assume. You want to have a guaranteed DOL, and then hold runners to your overall drawn liquidity. But over here on YM, you just target the low that NQ failed to manipulate, which is right here. Or sorry, on YM, same thing. You do on ES as well. Obviously, ES being the middle one, you would want to take this one as well. And you wouldn't need a strength switch because NQ has a drawn liquidity beyond the one it already failed to manipulate. So if you guys watch the course, you already know that this would be your target. I personally didn't trade New York, but I kind of already see a sequence here. SMT here, two stage here. It doesn't look like you're gonna get an entry though. Yeah, we kind of take this first low right at open. So you would have to wait for a failure to manipulate that low as well. Let me see if I'm catching up with everyone. RTY, okay. I'll look at RTY as well. But right here, there's two stage. Don't think there's any sequence that you could take personally, or that I would take. Maybe there is a strength switch here, actually 930 with ES. So ES takes this high out. I think it's this high actually too. And then we close bearish. This one closes bullish. So that could have actually been something. Oh yeah, this probably was. This is not a bad shot on ES. You usually want to only use the 15-minute if it's at a reversal and it's a strength switch. That's the only time you use it. In this case, we get it, and NQ put in a continuation too. So this is kind of like that lower time frame continuation where you can assume that the driver is not going to manipulate this in reverse. It's going to just continue lower, and we get that around the same time as ES gets this. So a catch up right here is not bad. You get 2R. I think if you take the 3-minute, you get even better. Yeah, you get around 2.5. I don't believe YM possibly has anything. Let's see. Okay, it does. PSP here. There's no entry signature though. Yeah, you can't really catch the reversal, and then doesn't look like you're gonna get the continuation either. We just kind of expand. RTY. Okay, this is kind of like advanced premium discount. Not really because of how close it is. You want this asset to be an EQ, but the fact that it's in a gap, and then YM, of course, has this. Then you have clear low resistance here, right here, and then your overall target. Okay, yeah, and RTY is not bad either. I'd put myself at the body. As long as you get 2R, yeah, this is not bad either. This is probably like the easiest trade, if you saw that. Probably is a... Okay, yeah, it's a 30-minute fill as well. So you have a 30-minute gap. Not bad AM. That's my first time looking at the AM session. Personally, I just got my trading day in Asia, so I didn't really wake up for New York. But gold was very clean. So with gold and silver here, we had an early two stage kind of. So over here, we had a SMT fill, I believe. Yeah. So silver obviously doesn't have the gap, but gold does right here. We actually hit it at 2 p.m. and then we get a two stage right here. So gold actually creates a failure swing, but if we look on euro, it actually takes the high, or GBP does, or was it euro? Let me see. Okay, it was euro. Yeah, it was euro. So it takes the high here. So there is kind of like a little two stage there, but I would rather have just see gold take the high as well. or even like a strength switch with silver like this. That would have been even more ideal. But it just goes off of that. All assets pretty much just expand in Asia. Hit this low here. Now, following the manipulation of this low, we have to see what signatures we get, right? On gold, you can already see we kind of have like expansion with expansion. On silver, it gives like a retracement signature. It retraces into this gap right here, while gold actually returns back to current day high. And this day has already created a very large wick, right? It's expanded. We can't see us going any higher than the current day high, or usually just the opening price. And then if current day high is near it, you just target that. But obviously, we're not going to get to this high. So with this signature, we can already assume that this SMT will hold, um, because if gold is not going to continue, we have to get a signature of either consolidation or retracement. And going to the lower time frame, we can already see like this is clearly expansion with expansion. With that, I think I was watching this actually. We could get an SMT fill. I think we did we get it? I'm not sure. It would be a strength switch, but it would be with the internal level, not your overall drawn liquidity. Be with this one. So technically this low, but you would just target this one. So something like this, and then even possibly like another strength switch like that. You could honestly short gold. It would just be seek and destroy, which is low probability. But altogether, um, you can't catch. I was looking in Asia. There's nothing in Asia you can catch, but in New York, definitely these shorts were valid. If you caught these shorts, there's a 30-minute strength switch, so kind of an advanced premium discount. This asset's in a gap, while the other one's at the range high, right, or the current day high, and 30-minute strength switch. All assets V shape. So this is actually like the cleanest shot you could take, besides RTY as well. I would say RTY and silver were probably the two. Okay. Before I go to oil, I'm gonna answer some questions. What would be the refined key level for YM? Let's see. It would just be your consolidation high. So it would just be this, like previous day or current day high. Because you're anticipating basically this to be a reversal um, from like a intra-week reversal, right? So the weekly candle right here opens high, which supports a bearish day. So reversal off previous day's high to start going back into the range makes sense. So this daily profile of open high, you would just want to reverse off of previous day high. That's your refined key level. Same thing over here, right? We don't really have a gap to work with. It's kind of just range highs to range lows, just manipulation ranges. So short NQ at 9 a.m. for open previous day low was invalid. For me personally, yeah, because I want a guaranteed target. So like we have this low, but it gets hit like right at the open, right? So if I go to the 3-minute, like you're not gonna get an entry until maybe you get on the 1 minute, but I think we take it within, yeah, see, we take it within like a couple minutes. You're not gonna get too hard to this low. And then when your first internal target gets hit, and then you're entering just to hit a external level, being uh, this low right here, that's not a good thing to do. You want at least 2R to this low, so you can manage your position, either partial, break even, and then hold a runner to here. In this case, I would definitely partial, because this is relevant enough to form a new phase of price, and it can actually reverse. But yeah, you never want to enter when the internal level already gets hit and you're entering like right here. That's why you want to be within a model inside of a model, because that just allows, right? So let's say you have a daily manipulation ranges. So high, or just internal to external. So this, we tap into a daily gap, and then within that, we have a 4-hour gap of internal to external. You have this target, and then you have the daily model to complete as well. And you're going to get continuous internal to external models until the daily model is complete. So I can try to find an example for you guys. I think gold actually had a nice one. It's recent too. Yeah, it's right here. So what do we have here? Manipulation of the range low. Where should we go? Range high. And within these, um, within this model, of this daily model, we're gonna have internal to external 4-hour models and 1-hour models. So you get a pretty deep retracement here. I think no, silver actually creates a lot of low resistance. Was it one of these pairs? No, okay. I guess we just have very deep retracement here. Ideally, you don't have this, right? You just hold this gap, and you just want where's internal to external, and then from there you get another internal to external, right? But the model's already complete after the first one, internal to external. So now you have your model that you're trading, which is the 4-hour to target, and then you have also the daily model to target, right? That's when you would partial here or break even and hold to the overall higher time frame model. Ideally, you want to be in the 4-hour and higher. You don't want to go like a 1-hour, be your higher time frame model. Make sure like it's a 4-hour, 6-hour model, and then you can use like 1 hour, 30 minute for your middle time frame. A really long time ago in a live stream, Lens, you said that if the driver manipulates you, they'll eat the second stage for. That is true, yeah, but they have to be synced. So if they're very decoupled, like how indices are, if they kind of have like a advanced premium discount between like NQ and YM, like NQ sits in a gap while YM just manipulates the high, then yeah, if they're all just, because that just means they're all going to be moving in the same direction. Like you don't have to worry about any decoupling. That's when the manipulation of the driver should just reverse price. So waiting for a second stage is kind of pointless if price is in a go already. But if they're decoupled, then no. I require like when they're decoupled, I require one of the assets to really take a draw on liquidity, and then I'll take it a lagging asset to the same one. What do you think about this trade? What asset is this? I think this is gold, right? I think this is what I was marking out right here, right? Yeah, it is. I personally didn't like it just because it was within the gold triad, but I didn't like how close this SMT, this second stage was. And I remember seeing, I think the lower time frame signatures, they weren't the best. Yeah, like this is not what you want usually. You just want a V shape, kind of just like a gap on this side, a gap on this side. This is just like consolidation. Kind of make a move lower, make a gap here, but then consolidate again. So I was waiting for gold to resweep. I had an alert to resweep this high, but it just dumped, and there's nothing I could do about that. When do we look for strength switch? You look for strength switch when so there's many different sequences. When you have a when you have a failure swing SMT. Oops. So meaning we have a low on one asset that gets manipulated like this, while the second one makes a failure swing to it like this. Usually you just want this asset and this asset to retrace into a gap like this and then break this SMT. But if there's a strength switch right here, so this asset turns stronger like a PSP and this one turns a bearish close, that's when you require to trade the reversal. Other than that, you would just be assuming this move higher is a retracement. And then, in some cases, it's not a retracement. So you'd have to just wait for a universal sequence. And then you just take that to your drawn liquidity. And then, of course, just the main thing people use strength switch for is going to be the catch up sequence. So obviously, there's a leading asset that hits the internal draw, and then obviously you have an external draw, and then you're going to have your weaker pair. This is when you require a strength switch. If you're not within this asset and you want to trade this one, you need a strength switch. So you will usually get that once this asset reaches this internal level. We'll get a new phase of price, and this asset will start to either consolidate or retrace. And within that retracement, you will get a strength switch. If not, this asset has a drawn liquidity still beyond. So you don't need a strength switch to trade this one because you're just going to adjust your target. You're not going to target the range high. You're going to target the internal high like that while this one trades into the external draw. In this case, you would take this one still, right? Because it's still showing that it's stronger. So you take this one. But let's say we get this asset doesn't have a drawn liquidity beyond. So you would kind of just want a strength switch here, right? So within this strength switch like this, and then you take it to the fail to manipulate target, which is right here. That's the two sequences I use strength switch for. And then obviously if it's there, it's there. You don't, it's not like if it's there, you don't take it. It's really just the confluence. All right, let's go over oil a little bit. Because obviously, like, you can't trade this, but if you see the phase of price overall, you could see how it's just expansion with expansion, right? So this is probably going to be a daily C2 candle. Yep. So with this daily candle C2, we've already hit a key level, right? Daily C2. So you'd obviously just want the C3. I think this is a PSP as well. Yeah. I think it's a PSP. So confirmed reversal. Now this could be a retracement for us to trade back into this gap here and then trade lower. With this, you have to pay attention to the lower time frame. So if we go to the 4-hour, what phase of price do we get? It's consolidation, right? Which is a continuation signature. But the only way we can trade this is a manipulation of the low, right? And then we'll trade it to the highs, of course. But consolidation, if you guys watch the course, we don't need to manipulate the low if it's continuation. It can just leave it and expand. So in this case, you would the only way we could trade it is either a gap like this, and you would take the gap, of course. But in this, the gap is created after we already took out our draw. So now you just have to wait for either a catch-up sequence, which we don't get. Yeah, they all kind of just take the highs. So oil was kind of like untradeable today. The drawn liquidity was taken in Asia, and you're not going to get anything in continuation because you're going to be long in the high of day and you don't have a drawn liquidity. Okay. Got those market reviews. Now it's just any questions you guys have. Do we need strength switch in order to resync? In some cases we do. So for that example of like in decoupled sequences. So for YM here, right, how it's at the high and NQ's at the lows, you would need a strength switch like down here to trade YM as a catch up. So within this leg, you are going to need some sort of strength switch, which we don't get. Maybe on the 30-minute. Yeah, no. We don't get anything. But yeah, you mainly need a strength switch for resync is just like this. When NQ is just expanding to the draw, forcing distribution. And once it hits the draw, strength switch, right? This one turns weaker, this one turns stronger, and then you just take it as a catch up. Price could not expand beyond the 1800 candle because of a large daily wick. I marked up here. Back in the range. What do you think of this entry? Yeah, this is gold, right? Yeah, this is valid. Like the metal shorts were nice in AM session. Although today was price went to deal. The days I look for scalps are when the drawn liquidity is like already hit, like coming into the day. For example, if this one wasn't even reasonable in the range and it was just this one, so it was like this one is, let's just say it was further or something. This is when I would just look for a small scalp and I won't hold because obviously we're not going to reach this low if the daily candle's wick is larger. So I would just wait for a sequence and obviously de-risk. With the de-risk, I would just wait for a universal sequence of internal to external, SMT fill, or PSP inside of a gap. And I would just short it to the current day low. Or if we have if this is an SMT with the key level, and this kind of caps off the daily range, I'll trade it back into the range, into just IRL. So I'll trade from ERL to IRL. It's lower probability, but if you really need a trading day, I mean, that's your only bet to really take. But again, what I was telling you guys is just wait for the higher probability sequences. Like trading firms, there's no reason to just take anything and everything. You don't get more money trading more, regardless, right? You're more prone to losses. But even in a sense of just thinking trading more will make you more money, it won't. You're going to have payout caps. So what I do is just I trade one. Basically, I wait for the highest probability sequence and I'll take it. And that basically builds my buffer. And I'll just get trading days. And that's it. Like that covers, as long as you, like, for example, like Lucid, like here, I'll show you guys actually. Let me get the screenshots. This doesn't leak anything. Like, so if we look here, this is just July. Wednesday, I didn't trade. Thursday wasn't a high probability day. So I just got a trading day, right? I took a loss in Asia and then a break even and then a win, right? That gave me 400. I was up on the day. That's a trading day. I just need $150. Friday was bank holiday. I didn't trade it. The weekend came. Monday, I got a metal short and that was high probability. So I took it with heavier risk. I made 3,200 that day. Now I got another trading day today and I'm at a $4,000 balance, right? I just need literally 2 more trading days and that's a max payout on Lucid. In the first, like, basically we had 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 2 more days. First 5 trading days of the month, it's a max payout and then you do it again, right? You already have a $2,000 buffer following your withdrawal. So after that, you just get trading days. And how I do trading days is I risk 250 twice. So if I take a win, I just get off. That's 500, right? Because I go for 2R. That already builds your second payout, right? Because if you already have a $2,000 buffer, you had to get 5 trading days, and each win is gonna be 500. It evens out your losses. You're already gonna build another $1,000 on top of your buffer, or 2,000. So that secures you basically another payout. So that's like 2 max payouts in a month. And if you guys can't be patient enough to wait for one, that was just one high probability setup to set you up for max payouts on Lucid 10,000, so 20,000. Then I don't know. That's just the problem with, that's just being stubborn, having an ego with yourself. Okay, let's see if I could. Okay, I am far behind. When you guys are marking up the Figma, could you include the date? Yeah. Could you go over CL around? I think I just went over oil. There's nothing you can really take. Couldn't the strength switch at a reversal be used to retrace instead? Yeah, it could be. That's why when let's see, I think it was it on here? I think we had the strength switch on ES, right? Around market open. This is in replay. 9:30, yeah. So when you have a what sorry, strength switch reversal like this, you need a profile and everything, of course. When you're trading, you need a profile and narrative and DOL in general. So if you have all those aligned for a reversal with a 15-minute strength switch or anything in general, it's valid to take because with the retracement, you're taking a reversal. So with the retracement, you're guaranteed to get um, at least a break even, right? You can position yourself to a 4-day break even. So in this case, if you were to take this strength switch and like you can go break even after this internal level here or just whenever, it's going to be 2R there. So break even there. But since you're in so early in the move, and if it's going to retrace into a key level, what's the first key level is this low here, right? You can go break even right there or right here, right? So obviously it would be right here because we already failed to manipulate this low, right? We took it here at 9 and then we leave 9:30 puts in the, yeah. So 9:30 takes it, continuation. So you're already in up here, takes this low, continuation to this low. So since you're trading the reversal, that's when, if you watch the course, the management's there. We're going to have your invalidation, which is your stop loss currently, and then you're going to create new ones along the way. So right here, trade into this gap. It's kind of smaller, the opposing run. But once we put in this continuation, you could pretty much go break even because price is like, if price comes back up here to your entry, there's no reason. There's no reason for that, right? It's more than likely going to just resweep the highs. So going break even right here after this close through. This should be the new invalidation to trade lower. But if you were in, you wouldn't take this, of course. This is just you hit a DOL, drawn liquidity, and you don't really have a protected stop at this point. But for example, if this was an SMT fill sequence in continuation, and you close here, right? You wouldn't want your stop loss right here being invalidated, right? So if you're in at the reversal, why not just move your stop break even? Because you don't want this high to be taken, right? What would you need to see to trade 2 p.m. onward on NQ and ES? Let's see. Of course, you need a drawn liquidity open still, which is highly unlikely in the PM. But you can sometimes get a trade back in the range. So like, yeah, this is obviously trading back into the range here. So if you have yeah, your drawn liquidity is hit. Obviously, it's getting manipulated. If you have a 2-stage, this is when the strength switches actually help. So there is a 2-stage. Yeah, 11. Yeah, this is a PSP. It's a strength switch again, right? So exactly what I was talking about. SMT here, strength switch. And then that SMT is going to be, I think, with this low. Let me make sure. That's Monday's low. Okay, so it's one of these lows. Either way, there's an SMT there, strength switch. Even just right here within the swing point you're trading. So this is a 2-stage. We can even ignore the key level SMT. So 10 a.m. This low doesn't get swept here. And then we close bullish. 10 a.m.'s low gets taken here. And we close bearish. Strength switched overall to your drawn liquidity. So you can trade this back in the range. And since you're taking the reversal, oh, this is actually very clean. I'm not going to lie. Wow. Since you're taking the reversal, you're entering right here. And if you're trading a retracement, which is ERL back to IRL, you're going to be targeting just an internal level right there. This gets you 2R, right? And once this level is hit, you just go break even. You're not looking for continuations beyond this point. Like when this internal level gets hit, you're not going to be looking for a 30-minute or 1 hour gap to trade all the way back up here. You could, but it's even more low probability. Okay, yeah, this was clean. Like if someone took this, this is nice. Strength switch, key level hit, so you can afford a retracement back into the range. Strength switch within the swing point you're trading. V shape on all assets. Gap. You just target this for 2R. Have you ever or have ever happened to you that some days you just take BS because you can't wait for a nice setup? No. I will take like if that does happen, it's very de-risk, but it's still like there's still logic behind the trade. Like I still require the same things I'll require for a higher probability setup. But if it's like, a day where I can't get the highest to the point where I'll full risk, I'll just de-risk on it. So I'll basically just go like 250 to 500 on it. And if I take a loss, then it doesn't really hurt me because the wins are way bigger than that. But yeah, of course, everyone's gonna have days like that. It's just matters. You just have to treat it to how you would react. Basically, if you're gonna react in a way where you want to get it back, then don't take it. If you're gonna react as this is valid, if I lose money on this, I don't care. Then of course take it. Oh, why did bring me back all the way up here? Uh, what CSD would you have entered on NQ short post 930 day? I wouldn't have taken NQ. I would have taken, honestly, altogether, I would have taken RTY. But between the main triad, it would have been ES. Like this was probably uh, one of the better trades today because this slow's obviously already failed to manipulate on NQ, right? If we manipulate it on 930, we should reverse. But if we put in a continuation like this, a lower time frame one, then ES should just catch up. So ES, and then same thing with RTY. It kind of you don't use RTY with ES and NQ, so you don't have like a guaranteed strength switch drawn liquidity in a decoupled market. But RTY and YM are pretty like synced, right? They're not like very decoupled like NQ and YM are. So this like little advanced premium discount sequence you see, it's not even advanced premium discount, but just this asset being in a gap and the other one being at the range high. And then you obviously have low resistance here. Nice V shape following 930 CSD. Just take this to this low here. There's nothing. I don't think there's anything on indices in continuation. Like 10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m. didn't offer anything. It's really just now this trade back higher. This was probably your only, like if you missed 930, this was your last trade. I don't think we're gonna get anything else. When we take ES lagging asset catch up, then reverse decoupling. When we take ES lagging asset catch up, then reverse decoupling. What do you mean? You have to rephrase that. Do you think we could short GC if we have a 90-minute SMT fill? There was a possibility to short right now. It was like an SMT fill. Is SMT fill on the hourly? Probably a 90-minute now too. We don't get the fill, but there's still that hourly one. At this point, I would require like, yeah. So this is expansion, expansion, consolidation. So this is a good signature for continuation to at least this low here. But at this point, I would wait for a second stage. I think, unless like, yeah, they're not. like we should have V-shaped immediately, like after we manipulated even these internal highs. SMT fill, a kind of like an AMD continuation, but we're just consolidating now. So I would require like a second stage, like a PSP on either one of these two, and then resweep that PSP high like this, or this one to make the failure swing, and then trade it lower. But I think honestly, all the assets are just done. Like gold had a crazy seek and destroy day, expanded lower, expanded higher, expanded back into the range. Same thing with the indices. They expanded, like especially YM, expanded higher, now expanded all the way back lower. NQ just expanded all the way lower, now it's going back higher. I don't think we continue the expansion. I think PM kind of just consolidates now. Uh, if correlated assets were in premium and advanced premium discount, if there was a SMT with a relevant high. So advanced premium discount basically makes it easy when you're trading a continuation or a reversal because they're spaced. All it is spaced out SMT, right? And spaced out levels we know is just um. Let me get this. It's just relevant levels for new phases of price, right? So if this asset here, actually, wait, let me draw this a little better. So if this asset is up here now, right? It has this SMT, and this asset is in EQ still. So now there's an SMT like this. Um, this will tell us if we're going to reverse or not. So if this one takes out this level, right, the internal level right here, that this one is already taken out, and there's SMT like this, we just watch what signature we get here. So if we get a strength switch PSP and they V-shape lower, then obviously we should see back lower. And this also matters about the profile. So let's say the day opened here, right? So it opened high, or you kind of view this as an open low because we open low, high, right? That supports a bullish day. So going back lower doesn't really make sense. I would personally just wait in this case for if we were going to trade lower, I would wait for this asset to take this low, and then I'll take this one as a lagging asset lower. But if this profile supported a bullish day like it does, and we get a strength switch, SMT fill, so this one makes a failure swing, this one makes the stop run. Strength switch, this one should obviously catch up, right? But that's why space out SMT makes it very easy. You have it guaranteed drawn liquidity on both sides. You just watch what signatures we get. But if it's something like this, you have to demand a lot more. If it's spaced out SMT, I mean not spaced out SMT, if it's a failure swing SMT. You have to demand a strength switch, and then you have to also demand like what's it called? Either SMT break between the middle asset and the lagging, or a strength switch. And if we don't get a strength switch, then you just have to kind of wait for a universal sequence like this. That's why this is honestly your best bet. Just spaced out SMTs. I haven't finished the advanced course yet, but how to recognize a high probability setup. I think we learning the model outside. That just comes down to you, your own data. Which of the sequences when you're taking them play out more than the other ones, and then you just filter out the other ones and just demand the ones. This mainly comes from backtesting. When you guys are backtesting, I would just advise you guys to pick like 2 or 3 sequences. Only take those in the backtesting. Whichever one plays out the most through your data, just only take that on the live or in the live markets. And when those setups come, just risk a little bit heavier. Shoot, where was I at? Okay, it's right here. I feel like I understand the concepts and logic, but I can't seem to put it together. Any advice? That if you understand the concepts and the logic, that is just that comes down to you not applying it. That just comes down to you watching videos. That's a main thing. Like I did it as well. It's analysis paralysis, where you just continuously watch the videos, thinking that's making you better. But the main thing is you actually applying it. So going into your charts when you're learning the concepts, as you're learning them, go into your charts, find them, and then move on to the next video. And then once you have all of them and you know you can spot them, put it all together, and then now look for all the sequences put together in your charts, then back test it, and so on. What's up, Benoit? Oh, what's up, Freedom? Has been a while. For really high probability setups, how much you risk on a fresh 50K? I risk 1,000. Well, pretty much the entire drawdown, but it's usually just 1,000. Not the entire one. I would say like sometimes on silver, if I just take one mini and it's a little bit higher than 1,000, it's like 1,300, then I'll still take it. But it's usually just 1,000. I'm still having problems finding the strong DOL bias in these market conditions. Do you have any advice? Uh, what I was talking about earlier, just models inside of models, right? So we're obviously trading one daily candle, so you should not care what's going on within the month, the week, or even tomorrow, right? You should just care what's going on today. So looking at this chart here, we're just obviously kind of in a consolidation. So indices is not going to be the best example here, but basically looking at YM, all right, we've taken this high, and I think ES catches up. What day is this? Thursday. Oh no! Wow. Wait, is this the 25th, 26th? Yeah. Nope. Yeah. Okay. ES been took that. Let me see NQ actually. Wow, these markets are decoupled. So actually, YM is the one that broke the SMT. So within this weekly profile, we obviously open high, right? We break this SMT here, open high. That's supposed to be a bearish day. So all we're looking for today is a bearish profile, right? And what we know about the daily charts, we never want it to inside bar, right? So if neither one of the internal or external levels are taken, so previous day low or previous day high, those are like strong draws on liquidity, right? So in this case, previous day high was taken, right? So like it's a large wick, so you wouldn't even expect it to get down here. But if let's say it was a shallow wick, this would be your main draw on liquidity. But altogether, your daily model is external to internal, and you just find the same things within your models, right? So you have the daily model, so we don't really need the 4 hour. It's ideal we do have it, but we just need the 4 hour aligned, and then we just need an internal to external within either the hourly or whatever, right? So in this case, we have an SMT fill here. That's internal. So internal. Now, if we have the proper signatures, this would just be internal, and then you target your external draw, and then to complete the daily model. So internal, external, 2R, or whatever risk reward you get here. You can either full TP if it's like 4R, and then break even, of course, or trail. If you have a universal sequence and continuation, trail it. If not, break even, and then you hold a runner to complete the daily model. That's like the easiest way to find your draw. Like you don't even need to look at the daily chart to be honest, but it does help, of course, if you're aligned with it, because obviously we're trading within this day, right? But if you just need one hour, 4 hour candle, sorry, right? So if we have, for example, let's say right here, right? We obviously this is kind of like seek and destroy. We take the highs, take the lows. Now we're going back for the highs, but we have a model. We have manipulation ranges, range low to range high. So within this, we're just looking for internal to external, or just anything that helps support your 4 hour buy model. So if we go to the hourly, we have any gaps or ranges? Nope. 30-minute. Kind of. Maybe we have this is like equal lows. But let's just say this was like SMT fill, right? internal, and now you would target your external, and then obviously to complete the 4 hour model, right? Something like that's what you always want. You want your internal level, and then you want your higher time frame model. If you have this every time, you're in a higher probability sequence. If you're just in from up here, like this level is already taken and you're in from up here, that's bad, right? Look, you probably would have took a stop loss and then it would have ran on you, right? That's why you want to position yourself with a guaranteed DOL and then your higher time frame DOL. I was looking for a big cumulative on my PC, but this reversal is close to the daily low if you zoom out. What do you mean on NQ? This one, right? Um, again, how we trade away from failure swings is strength switch. So this SMT here, strength switch, could cap off the daily range because we're very overextended. Like, look at this daily candle. Do you demand any specific? For using or seeing the candle? What I look for my CSDs is just same thing I look on the higher time frame, right? So if we see reversals, it's just a V shape, right? So if I go like let's say on the hourly here, actually on gold, right? What do we have? A V shape. This is the same signature you look on the lower time frame. If you go on NQ here, this is actually perfect. This is what I look for. I look for the same V shape that shows we're reversing. I want a candle close above the last opposing candle. And I actually demand a gap usually. If it's not on this time frame, at least like on the lower ones, like if there's a 1 minute, 2 minute, and if I'm taking like a 5 minute and there's no gap, there's even a 5 minute gap here, then I'll look on the 3 minute. It's 3 minute gap, then it's pretty valid. But I demand V shape, of course, and I want it to happen quick. Like I don't want it to. I want it to happen within the first like 2 to 3 candles. I don't want it to just go like this, and then finally get the CSD. Right? You want it to happen within first 2 to 3 candles like this, and you want it to happen ideally between all the assets. So ES did it here, and YM is obviously the weaker because it's strength switched, bearish here. So it's not gonna have the nicest, but if it's still trading higher, what time was that? 11:42. So right here, yeah, it's trading higher, right? It's V shaping. It is taking a little bit longer, but that's just because it's the weakest. We look at RTY when YM is the leader, right? No, oh yeah. If between the main triad, if YM is the strongest, then you look at RTY to see if it's even stronger. Just examples. Got you. What's your favorite sequence? It's actually the same one that Garrett, I think, went over. It's just when we have a reversal and we come near our drawn liquidity, create a failure swing, then the universal sequence, just like that. Like I don't even care to catch the reversal. If there is a way to catch it, like of course, if I'm there, like I'll take my shot at it. But if I come into New York and London had like a reversal into expansion, retraced, and we have a clear drawn liquidity in New York, like this is my favorite. Just you have your internal level and then you have your external level. Especially when we're kind of decoupled. So not decoupled, but if you're trading the lagging asset, this is like even better because this is already gotten failed to manipulate by the leading. This retracement, if this is like a strength switch, so like this SMT fill, that's like even better. But the 4 hour aligned, of course, because we're already in continuation. Um, and fails to manipulate, strength switch. Like this is what I would risk heavy on. Yeah, I got cooked one too many times on reversals, so I just trade universal sequence. Yeah, that's honestly your anomaly coins. This honestly your best bet is continuation. I'm not gonna lie. I take a lot more continuations. The main time I take reversals now is the only time you're really gonna get them is Asia, because majority of the moves just happens in Asia now. So for the model inside of models, for example, daily IRL to ERL, only 4 hour or for only support model. I didn't get this part. Yeah. So if you're in a daily model, like it's you have 6 4 hour candles, so it's kind of be kind of difficult for you to get a internal to external within the 4 hour as well. Right. Coming into New York, that would have to mean like London and Asia expanded. You don't want that, right? If London and Asia expands, that means New York's gonna be lower probability. So as long as you just have a 4 hour that supports expansion. So in this case, this is a driver, so like it could expand even with a large wick. But if it's a shallow wick and it's reversing, then you could trade the C2. If it's a large wick and we're kind of just like right here, I would just wait for the next higher time frame opening. And then within that, this wick should have at least like an hourly to 30-minute gap, like right here, you see? That's why this is actually like perfect. You have a 30-minute gap, right? And then it was actually an SMT. And then this was also a driver, so it doesn't even matter about the large wick. Um, and this is a 30-minute internal to external. And then I think this is the daily model, right? Basically. Yeah, it is. So SMT, range high. Whoa. SMT with your range high, what do you target? The range lows. So your first target would be previous day low. Next target would be these lows. And then, yeah. This guy's so behind. What time's? But I'm only like 4 minutes behind. So your favorite sequence is a model within a model. Well, that's what we trade. That's not like a sequence. That's exactly what we trade. Is basically just um you're trading universal models, and then you're aligning yourself with GXT. When you stay up for London, when I can't sleep, when I can't sleep. How do you treat Asia? I just demand. I just look at the daily closures. So if this is very bad, I think actually this was a good setup for Asia. So let's just look at this closure, right? What are we closing near? This 4 hour gap, right? We actually already hit it. So London actually could just open up and just expand, right? Because we already have a key level hit and a C2 out of it. It's not C2, C2 would be right here, but kind of like a reversal candle. So it's actually an SMT fill as well. So if I go to silver, this is that same gap. It's not a gap on here, but you only need it on one of the assets. And following that, right, I would actually require a second stage. That's why I had an alert for gold's high, and it never got took. It got taken on euro, but I didn't. Okay, this is where's okay there it is. It got on this asset. It was manipulated, but this one it wasn't. So, but in order to trade like the weaker pair of silver, right, we can't cross CFD pairs, so I can't trade euro with silver, and that's why I was requiring gold to resweep. But it just goes off of that 2 stage and dumps to the lows. I mean, G trades reversal. There is no model inside model. How do you how what filter you add there? What do you mean? When we're trading a reversal on the lower time frame is just going to be a higher time frame for trace it majority of the time. But if it's something like this, like we reverse from our first key level. So let's just say like this. Do we have like a gap fill? No, we don't. Either way, let's say we just manipulate our first level, which is this low. If we have a model of like the 4 hour, let's say, yeah, so we have range low, range high now, right? That's a 4 hour model. Now we're going to be trading the 1 hour model within the 4 hour model. Right? That's why I was saying don't go below the 4 hour though. You're always going to have, or at least not always, but when you're trading, you want to have a 4 hour model. You're going to align yourself with the 1 hour, 30 minute. What was the last time you will trade for each session? Wait, what is the last time you will trade for each session? You're gonna have to rephrase that. I know the rule of thumb is 1 stage for continuation and 2 stage for reversal, but do you find yourself always looking for 2 stages on the lower time frame, such as APSP confirming SMT? Yeah, sometimes I will. So if we have let's say an hourly, or sometimes if we have a 30-minute gap. So this is how gap selection works as well. Because if we have a 30-minute fill, but we're gonna be putting our stop on an hourly gap. But if we have a 15-minute swing point with a PSP, like let's say this is a hourly gap high or hourly gap low, going lower, but this is a PSP. Out of the two assets of silver and gold, silver is going to create the failure swing, right? Like this. And gold's going to run the high because of this PSP, right? So you can enter before. That's how I use like SMT fills and then a lower time frame PSP. But you can also just wait for the higher time frame gap to get filled and then take it. But sometimes that doesn't happen, right? Sometimes this just stays how it is. Like if gold also closes C2 but bullish, but it doesn't resweep and it just goes, you're gonna miss the move, right? That's how I trade within gap selection, like the lower time frame PSPs. Can we say that we have a favorite sequence on yeah, I think it is right now. Let's see. Yeah, it's kind of is with metals. So this level is failed to manipulate, and then we have this one, right? And it's a strength switch. So SMT fill. Oh wait, it's a PSP as well. So yeah, this is actually like exactly. It's 2 stage strength switch. So gold catch up here. I don't think it's reasonable. Yeah, I wouldn't. So late in the day, I don't think we create a new low of day. But this is exactly what like, yeah, and we're all V shaping. Yeah, this is like ideal. This is perfect. And I think this continuation order block is actually, yeah, this is valid too. Because your first internal target, you get 2R almost, right? If I put it at the bodies, which I would, because look at this closure, you get 2R. See, this is what I mean. You have a guaranteed 2R target now. Once this gets hit, if it does, you partial or break even, and then you hold it for your higher time frame model, which this is seek and destroy, right? We've opened, took the low, took the high. Now we're going back for the low. So we're in a manipulation ranges model of range high to range low. Within that, what do we have? An internal being this gap SMT, right? Looks better on silver. You have an internal to external 2-hour higher time frame model. Well, let's take it on paper. I wouldn't take this because of how not how late it is, but I wouldn't take it to this target. I would just take it to this 2R right here, like this. And it's a new 4-hour. So 4 hours opening up in not a C3. It's opening up in a C4, but uh, supports expansion, right? Because it's a new candle. It's opening up in an hourly 2-stage and C3. Same thing, 30-minute C3. So yeah, like this would be like a trading day trade, basically. This is a demo, like yeah, paper trading. Look, I'm not really taking it. Is the new 90-minute? If the new 90-minute is going to open within a few minutes with 90-minute gap, will you fade it or wait for the new 90-minute gap? If I have a sequence prior to a new 90-minute, then I'm just assuming the new 90-minute will open up in continuation, and I don't care about the gap. I need to trade London reversal. When will be the last time to consider a trade? For no, I think what you mean is like you're trying to get or like when's the last time you look to take a trade in London? It's usually the first 2 hours. So I'll trade 2 to 3. I won't trade 4 or 5. Like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. I'll only trade 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. It's that goes with anything really. If it's 6 a.m. candle, besides the 6 a.m. candle, sorry, that's because there's 2 drivers or 1 driver at the end of it, being 9:30, and then sometimes 8:30. I will take that 4-hour candle is the last 2 hours, but every other 4-hour candle, so 2 a.m., 10 a.m., usually want the move to happen within the first 2 hours. And I think that's in the course as well, if you guys watched the advanced. Yeah. Okay, let me make sure because I think there's a lot of questions, but you make sure you guys at me because if I don't see like a highlight, I don't assume it's a question. I assume it's just you guys talking to each other. Do you like to see SMT sweep some sort of liquidity levels for the GC, which is obviously what we want to trade, but what do you mean? Would I like to see a stop run? We technically got a stop run right here. If you mean that. Altogether, this trade is very low probability. That's why I have adjusted target and also seek and destroy, low probability. The only reason I like it is because silver's already taken, not this low, but it's taken this low, failed to manipulate it, right? If this was earlier on the day, like if this was 9 a.m., then yeah, 100%, I'm taking this all the way down to here, given the 2-stage strength switch. But this is very late in the day, and seek and destroy signature, and so on. But yeah. Can you explain this trade again real quick? Sorry. So I think it's just seek and destroy signature. So we should go back towards these lows. Silver has already failed to manipulate this internal level. retraces into a gap. SMT fill, bullish close. SMT fill, bearish close. So it's a strength switch to catch up to this low. But since it's late in the day, I'm just targeting this internal level for like 2R. Well, it's paper trade, so it doesn't even matter. But just to show you guys how to trade models inside of models. Sometimes G takes a 7-2. What are the reasons when you can't, or you can take that? And yes, it's in the course, but 70 AM target G is confused. I don't know. I'm not up that early, so I've never taken like a 7 AM trade, but personally, I don't. Like sometimes, yeah, I see it in oil. Like oil, you'll get like moves that like right around the first 2 hours of the 4 hour candle. But other than that, I don't know. I don't really trade that. But then again, like it just comes down to the logic. If the reversal's in, then the driver and so on should expand, right? I personally just have never traded 7 in. Majority of the time, the move happens after, so I wouldn't worry about anything before. Like you guys should just set a time. Like if something happens before you trade, like that's just out of your control. You shouldn't be mad about it. That's not a missed trade. That's just a trade that you're not supposed to be taking. I see people saying that there was a strength switch around 9:30. Where was the strength switch? I didn't see one between RTY and YM on this. I don't think there's a strength switch. It was kind of just advanced premium discount. Okay, it was an SMT break. Okay, that even made it more clean. SMT break. This same high was obviously like taken a while back on YM here, and then we closed bearish here. But it's not a strength switch. Yeah. Actually, no, it's not. Yeah, there is a 2 stage right here though. I think this is 8:30, right? Yeah, 8:30. Takes out the high here, closes bullish, but YM's just continuously taking this high. So there's also like a 2 stage like this now. So you could have actually taken the reversal here. It's just lower probability because YM's not going to be reversing, right? So you would take this entry, if you take this first CSD at 848. Yeah, they're not, YM's like still expanding higher. It doesn't help that there's nothing for it to expand into. So it's kind of just like showing that it wants to continue higher for no reason. So you would not take the reversal here. Or personally, I wouldn't, but this 931 is nice. But there's no strength switch. It's just kind of like an advanced premium discount. Yeah, see, we're not going anywhere right now. This just shows like how late in the day is and how low probability it basically is. In your early stage with Garrett, which things you prefer or things you prefer him most to talk about? Which concepts? I mean, he pretty much like he would go in depth with everything, so I never really had questions, and like everything he was saying just made sense to me. I never had him go in depth with like a concept more, because every time you would explain something, it would be like 3 hours. Can we wait? Wait, did I read this one? Oh no, I already read that one. Can we have a 3+ trades a week just by indices? Usually, yeah, but recently, no. And that's just trading, right? You're not gonna if you're getting 3 trades, 4 trades, even 5 trades a week, sometimes, right? That's not gonna stay like that forever, right? It's gonna obviously change every week. Is there any way to determine a DOL proximity? I find myself a lot of times targeting draws that are way too far. Other times I'll pass on each. That's why trading models inside of models are important because you're guaranteeing one target, right? And if the other one's far, then I will just wait for the lagging asset. That's another thing. If um let's say gold was the leading asset, hits this low, and if this is obviously out of range, I would just wait for the lagging asset to take the same low, and I would just hold gold. And usually I can squeeze like another 1 R, 1 to 2 R. It will be like down here, and then silver will just hit this draw, and then I'll just close it right there. But proximity, that's why it all blends together. Like all the problems that you guys are having, I mean, everyone's had these problems, but it everything that you do blends together. Like that's why you guarantee yourself a target, so you're never lost in the charts. Um, you guarantee, well, not guarantee. You find the sequences you want. Don't take all the sequences. I don't take all of them. I I demand the ones that um I risk heavier on, and then some of them I will just take as just a winning day trade. Right? I wouldn't just risk the same on each setup. They don't deserve to be risked the same. And I showed you guys that, right? When I showed you that P&L calendar, like that one day at a high probability setup, so I risked heavy. Now my whole month is set up for just that one, being patient for that one day. If we have yet to be consistent and profitable, should we just target 2 hour? No, I wouldn't say. I feel like people say that, but I feel like that's a bad thing. I think how we trade, being again models inside of models, holding to the draw on liquidity is like you should be doing that at least to the first target every time. So like if you always want a minimum of 2R, of course. So if it's 2R to this low, then yeah, take it to that low. But if this is like 3, 4R and you're just cutting your win in half to get 2R, why not just hold to like the guaranteed target, right? Symmetrical highs and lows. How do you use it? Can we make sure? Symmetrical. If highs and lows are not symmetrical, meaning if on one asset, the highs are not matching another, and this happens in decoupled markets. Usually in consolidations, they'll create uh, unsymmetrical highs and lows. You avoid trading. Like I don't even trade it. You could, but like low probability, de-risk type of trades, right? If I would just altogether not take them, but you wait because they're good targets. So if they're not symmetrical, they're more than likely going to get manipulated, and it's a good target. So you wait for a sequence uh, in that direction, and if they are symmetrical, then obviously you're aligned and synced with the market. That's as simple as it goes. I mean, if you watch my recap, it was basically that, right? I showed you how, um, right here, right? This is an, not symmetrical highs with silver. So this swing high is this one right here. Silver takes it continuously, right? Takes it here, takes it here. So we're not creating symmetrical highs. This asset is just consolidating. That's why when we got this 2 stage, I was assuming it was just going to be used as a retracement to come then break this high, but it doesn't. We just continuously consolidate. So now we're creating unsymmetrical lows, unsymmetrical highs. Where could be, sync the markets from? This high. So you would obviously target this high. And if there's a sequence within this, then you take it. If not, then you just wait for the high to be manipulated and you trade it lower. You actually no, it's gonna be a 15-minute gap. Yeah, silver is not helping us here. That's what I mean. Not your trade that you marked out when you get the initial SMT in around 1330. Would you trust it more since we have swept failure swings at the same time? So, yeah, ideally, yeah, something is swept on this asset as well. So in a way, price prints lower time frame stop. Yeah, Like same thing with your order blocks, CSDs. Like ideally, they trade into gaps like this one does, or they take out a higher low. If it's just like a random order block like this, like no, you don't take this. I mean, this one did kind of trade into a gap, but let's say there's no gap here, right? If it just makes a opposing run higher and then you close through, I don't use those. Uh, I usually require like it to trade into a gap and then close through, and ideally it's in premium of this range. Your stop loss from the reversal to the retracement range, right? Since you are there specific scenarios where you would enter a trade or enter a trade an hour-ish before I knew? Yeah, I did that yesterday or Monday Asia. So Sunday night I did that because we had a two stage. We had an SMT break with silver or with gold, right? The same example. If you watch my recap, um, like a lot of these questions could be answered, but SMT break with that high. This is 2100, an hour before 2200, right? And we're fading a large 4-hour wick. And what do we need? A two stage to confirm the wick. You want to be positioned very high in the 4-hour wick, so you're taking the reversal, and you want it to be an hour before the new 4-hour opens, right? You don't want it to be like a large wick within the first hour of the 4-hour, and then you see a two stage, and you have 3 hours before the candle closes, right? That's just so much time, and the range could be already covered within 30 minutes, right? So it's best to have it an hour before. And this is a two stage, so makes a stop run, bullish close, failure swing right here, and bearish close. 2200 opens up in C3 on the 4-hour. So C2, C3 opens up C3 on the 1-hour, right? So we're aligned, and SMT break two stage, 4 hours aligned, 1 hour's aligned. You could have waited for the 3-minute, but I saw could have took this, but there was also a 30-minute two stage within this. So right, yeah, right here, within the swing point you're trading, there's a two stage right here. So I just took the 1 minute. So we go in gold, bullish close. All right, this is gonna be a loss. Bullish close takes the high, and bearish close doesn't take the high. So I just took the 1 minute. This is gonna be a while back. Yeah, like right here. And this is another thing, right? For that one question, we swept some, I guess, low time frame liquidity, right? This is the CSD right here. I just entered as soon as this candle opened. Oop, wrong one. Right there, put my stop up here, and I targeted the model, which is a 4-hour model of external to internal or order pairing ranges, either one you want to think about. And yeah, that was that. It was like 4R. Yeah, it was like 4R. That's what that trade was, by the way. That like almost $4,000, $3,000 trade I showed you guys. Like I'm telling you guys, like especially me being PST, I just set my month up with 1 day, which is one trading day, and the rest of the days I could wake up whenever and just get $150 a day, and I just set myself up for the entire month for just like 20K from Lucid just from 1 day. Oh, okay, I'm far behind. You only trade models inside of models? Yeah, that's what we trade, models inside of models, universal models. Do you only use 15-minute SMT and PSP at a reversal? If yes, strength switch. If price go to your 4-hour validation, you basically don't trade that 4-hour, wait for a new 4. Yeah, exactly. If it supports a like fading the wick, like I just showed you guys, right? Two stage last hour, then I'll take it. But if there's not, then I just wait for the new higher time frame open. Can you show calendar? I think I already. Yeah, I'll just show it again. First 5 trading days, I was patient. If I don't see any high probability setups, um, I just try to take a trading day. So I de-risked. I took a loss in Asia, woke up for New York, break even, and then took a win. So I ended up on the day. And Friday was bank holiday. Monday took that silver short, and then today I just got a trading day in Asia, and then I get another trading day, another one. That's one max payout, and then I have to get 5 more trading days. But within those 5 days, it's going to require me to get trading days of $150. But I risked 200, so my trading days majority of the time look like this. It's like 4 to 500. Um, this one I kind of just entered, saw 150, and just exited because I didn't feel like thinking. But usually I require a setup and 250 risk 500. So if I get 500 5 times right, it's gonna be well over what I need for another payout. And that's just 2 this month from just being patient for one setup. Is your approach on fundeds get one big win and just like, yeah, exactly. You add in because that's all you have to do. There's no reason to just, oh wow. Um, there's no reason to just trade everything. If there was no payout caps, yeah, I'm still gonna be smart with my trades, but I'm gonna be trading more. Like I'm gonna be trading every day because if I get a high probability chance every day, I'm gonna take my shots and get the most payouts I could. But there's payout caps, so there's no reason to. And then if you build a big buffer, you just get moved alive. So this doesn't even matter, right? You're just wasting your time basically. So you add in on position at proportion blocks? Sometimes, yeah. But usually I just um it has to make sense. Like, for example, if you were to take um this CSD here, which you don't really get a nice fill, but either way, right? If you take this first CSD right here, um, you're here, you get a proportion block, you can add it again, and then you just move your stop loss like this, right? So you're in with double your size, and then you just have a new invalidation. So now you're in double size, double the reward, of course. So, but if I enter like this, then no, I'm not going to pyramid. I only pyramid if I take the reversal. If I don't take a reversal, then I'm not going to wait for another like universal. Because at this point, you're not going to, if there's another order block, you're not going to add in. The only time you can add in is a universal sequence. And that's going to be very low in the range, right? That would be like after we take out this 30-minute gap, if there's like a sequence in here, then maybe you can add in, but there's no point. You're just giving up a lot. Um, Basically, you're giving up your whole 2R position to this low to maybe get to this low, right? But since you added in early up here, if you took this, you're not giving up anything, right? That's why I only do that reversals. So ideally, you wait for one and to be swept during unsymmetrical highs and lows are made. Otherwise, you wait. Yeah. How did you get better at trading? Was it mostly through backtesting? Yeah, and backtesting and what's it called? Um, Forward testing or like hindsight reviewing. This is what they want. Oh, for each sequence. Do you use? No, I use 50Ks. I'm PST. What session do you think is best to trade? That's just honestly up to you. Like some people, I know some PST traders that just trade Asia and London and don't even trade New York. Which I mean, I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to wake up. Well, I do wake up. I don't want to wake up at 5:30 a.m. each day, right? Market opens at 6:30, but I'm like some days I do just wake up 5 minutes before open. But majority of the time, I just want to wake up and actually have a chance to wake up while I'm trading. So I wake up at like 5:30. Okay, you can like just trail to there. I mean, honestly, you could trail to the body too, but it's demo, so I don't really care. Oh, and that goes with every firm, by the way. Like copy trade, like before, I would get a lot of trades in a day because of I wasn't copy trading all my firms together. I was just copy trading them individually. So I would have to take more trades. But now I just copy trade all of them together, get the big winning day, and then um, my whole month is pretty much set up. I am so far behind. Do you only trade metals in Asia or indices? Um, it just depends on how the daily closure is, but Asia metals are the best, to be honest. Indices, like you need perfect framework. Like we did have perfect framework because we had an SMT break between ES and YM right here. ES broke these SMTs. And then we had a two-stage prior to Asia session, right? So if we already have our key level hit, two-stage, Asia should just open and expand like it does here, right? It opens and just melts. That's when like indices is the best. Like usually this is the framework you need. But for metals, you can get away with like um uh a lot more stuff. Like you can wait for sequences because there's a lot more volume. Like it's more than likely to reach certain key levels even if they're pretty far away, or you can trade to the key levels. With indices, it's kind of difficult to do that. Um, is there any way we can anticipate when price is going to consolidate? For example, in a higher time from gap, price resweeps or price sweeps, and we get a two-stage enter V shape. However, we that's just that's just pushed me all the way back up in the chat. All right, which we then require another sweep before we look for an entry. However, is there a way to anticipate the price is going to chop? You can't. I mean, you could anticipate it, right? That's why we mark out key levels and relevant levels. But also just after a large expansion, right? You're due for a new phase of price. So, okay, you can just go break even here. But yeah, it's just that's what key levels, right? Internal levels, you can get like this right here, right? What phase of price did we get after this low got tick? Retracement. Following retracement, what is it? Expansion. It all blends together. Which one of you guys actually took this for real? I know someone did. Oh, there it is. You guys are sickos, bro. There's no way you guys still took it, bro. Even I didn't even take it. Like I this is demo. I was in before you said it was good. All right, that's good. That's fine then. If you took it just right when I entered on a demo, like that's wild. It might come back though. I don't know. Wait, is there like a yeah? This is not a valid break even at all because it's a 2 hour trade. So like I personally would have just trailed to like this, but either way. But since if the only way you trail is or break even is when the draw on liquidities hit and you're holding, or you get a universal sequence. But in this case, your first draw on liquidity is 2R, so you can't really trail break even. But if I was really in this trade, this is what I would do. And if you want to play it even more safe, you could go break even, but up to you. Zhao Euro took it. There you go. Yeah. Then you can actually go break even. I already went break even, so I'm not going to move it, but would you ever just close it when CFD? No, not really. I don't ever do that. Like, especially if gold's this close. If it's creating a relevant SMT, like APD, so up here, then yes. And if I'm at 2R, if it's just like this, then no, I'm not gonna just TP. I'm personally holding it. Why do they have this here still? I already have these out. Whoa. Oh, nice. Whoa. That's nice. That's a nice glitch. I don't even know where I was in at. I think it was like right here, right? Well, it would have been break even either way. Just re-enter. But there you go. That goes to show how to trade low probability setups. But either way, this one didn't even work out. I mean, it did work out, but it went from a CFD SMT. Damn, I shouldn't have said anything. Right when I said if some of you guys took it, you guys said yes, and it reversed. That's crazy. Should I crash out? Splash, you were saying? What was Splash saying? When you are trading for a trading day, do you aggressively trail? Yeah, that's actually what I do too. Once I get a new invalidation, instead of trailing break even, I just trail my stop to 150 in profit, and it usually just runs. Because how we trade and how we manage, we don't want deep retracements, right? So if we get a deep retracement, it's lower probability. But if we do get a deep retracement, you just get out 150 profit. But usually, if you're aligned, that's why being aligned with expansion candles from like 4 hour lower or even daily um, is a really good thing, because those shallow retracements are highly unlikely. Because if we have let's say a 4 hour, a new 4 hour open, right? But within that, we have like a large 90-minute, and then we get a new not a new 4 hour. Let's say we get an hourly open with the large wick. The 4 hours aligned, but the hourly has a large wick. That allows for deep retracements, right? Because the new hourly has to open low. But if you're aligned with all shallow wicks, then you should get shallow retracements. But usually, yeah, it usually runs without stopping me in profit into my TP. What mistakes you see most often than that delay people from becoming profitable? Rushing, everything, the process, and it's honestly just themselves. Like, it's in anything. It's just you. I would say trying to revenge trade, you're tilting, getting your loss back, not allowing your system to fully play out. Right, you got to allow yourself to make it another day, because like anyone's system, it requires losses, right? And if you don't allow yourself to make it to a win, then how do you expect to even become profitable? Like, today might be a loss, tomorrow might be a loss again. That's why your system has to be catered to you. The next like the third trade can be a win, and the RR with this is right 3 to 4 usually. Like I just showed you guys, my one trade was 4R over there for the 1 week that already put me up, but this trade was 2R. But that still allows you for 2 losses, and this was like the easiest read. Um, with that, also, it's just a coin flip. Like if you're guaranteed, let's say across 10 trades, let's say you have a 40% win rate, right? So you win 4 times, you lose 7. You still have to make it to the 4 wins, right? You don't know the order of those losses or those wins. You can lose 7 in a row and then win 4 in a row, or you could win 1, lose 3, win, and then win 3 in a row, right? You don't know the order. You just have to survive for the next day to let that system play out, basically. Right? You got to survive for another coin flip. But if you just blow the account, then you're never going to be flipping a coin again. Wow, I'm still this far. Yo, you guys be typing. I think you said this, but I missed it. You want a minimum of 4 hour. Yeah. So, either 6 hour, 4 hour. Yeah, just 4 hour. You want to be aligned within at least a 4 hour model and higher. Intraday trading, so that's what we do. At least minimum 4 hour. Whoa, it didn't work. No one got. No, I got the reference, but you said it wrong. It's supposed to be 8. If we have a PSP on the CFD pairs, but we don't have it on the futures chart, can we work on the future chart like we have a PSP or no? You just treat the only thing you don't do is just cross the pairs. Everything else you treat the same. Yeah. Uh, damn, I just rounded up trying to. All right. I'm probably gonna end it here soon. Let's say, or let's see if this goes after break even. Oh wait, this was definitely. Oh no. Okay, I had my stop up here. This was like 2R. It's right here. I'll probably just see if this goes up here. If I was really in this trade, this is where I'd put my stop. And then after that, probably just end it. But if you guys have any more questions, let me know. I know most GXT traders don't trade crypto, but if someone is looking to trade Asia, is that an asset? No. I mean, I don't trade crypto, but if you want to trade Asia, just trade metals, to be honest. But also you have to require the framework. Like it's in the course too. So honestly, like the course just has everything you guys need within questions. But sorry, I just got a message. With that, yeah, just watch the course and you'll learn how to trade each session. And with each session requires to in order to trade it. Not gonna lie, the AI, well, yeah, it is. That GXAI is actually insane. Assets gravitating towards each other right now. What do you mean? On what pair? Oh, NQYM. Yeah, that makes sense, right? YM can't expand forever, NQ can't expand forever, so they're gonna start to go in the same direction. So 4 hour strength switch, no fill though, no 2-stage fill. See, like this could be a good Asia session for what's it called, indices if this was 1400. If 10 a.m. um, kind of just stayed like this or was 1400, and then Asia opened up, created the two-stage fill, like that's perfect for a catch up. Strength switch catch up to this low. I mean, we still could get it. It's just that I don't think we're gonna get the two-stage fill anymore. Well, being a strength switch, we can get it just regular. So with YM, kind of, it would just be like this strength switch like that, which is not ideal. You want YM to be the weaker pair. Can we consider the 1 hour PSP on indices is the reversal? Oh, you mean like this one that's closing right now? I mean, we still have another 2 hours or 1 hour, but possibly. Personally, I mean, you're gonna get if this candle right here and the next one close down here, this is gonna be a 4 hour PSP, right? So you're just gonna get, this is a two-stage fill, or actually it's not a two-stage fill, but that would have been a two-stage fill. It's you're just gonna get the fill like this now, from this high two-stage, then Asia opens up, failure swing right here. It's just not ideal. I mean, it could be actually because we have a failure swing. Oh, so this is technically the model right here that I was telling you guys, the sequence I like. Um, we retrace, and then with the retracements capped off by SMT, and you just take it to the retracement low, and then your overall drawn liquidity. So this is actually setting up for a nice indices Asia. Yeah, I'll probably be watching that. What's the minimum time frame to look at when judging an asset is failing to manipulate? All of them. What you look for on the low time frame is what's going to be happening on the higher time frame. If it's going to consolidate, the low time frame is going to consolidate within a candle's range, right? And then retracement, it's obviously going to retrace. That's the only two, failure to manipulate. Actually, well, expansion as well, but expansion is obvious, right? If we take the low and we just continue to go through it, then that's failure to manipulate. But the other two, consolidation, retracement, it's, you just look between all of them. There's no like certain asset. When it's not an ideal strength switch, like 4 hour scenario, you said why I'm not being weaker. So just do you skip it, or in this case, I forgot what's it called? Not New York. NQ still has a drawn liquidity, so you could take NQ. Right, it has that sequence I was talking about, failure swing, all that. Okay, now we go. What time is it? Oh, it's the 1450 macro. Oh, yeah, 1450 macro. This goes. Do you only trade Asia when close to previous averages, or yeah? That's why, if the only way you could trade Asia is if we're opening up near the key level, or PM hits the key level and puts in a reversal. I didn't even have a choice. My trading view thing glitched. It had two of the stop loss TPs, so I tried moving it and it just closed my position. But yeah, you, like I said, you should have held it. Like if it's 2R, you should trail your stop, of course, but you should never go break even without a target hit. There's no reason to, right? And there you go. See, that's how easy it is if you guys just sit patiently. But this goes into part with the course as well, right? How do we manage? It's like you need something hit, or you need a new invalidation, which we don't have a new invalidation, right? We did right here. We entered right here. We get one right here, but you don't go break even, right? You just trail to this. And then until you have an invalidation below, so let's say like there's invalidation right here, then you trail to break even, because obviously you don't want this invalidation. Yep, there you go. See, dips, rips. That's exactly how you play it. Bro, I re-entered after break even hit TP. Yeah, I'm not. No, no, you're good. I mean, that is kind of crazy. You shouldn't have went break even, but uh, yeah, you also shouldn't have re-entered. Ooh, anomaly coins. No, no, no. There's no real 1450 macro. I was just joking. That's funny. Oh my. What's crazy is I actually didn't take this. I didn't take this like on the side or anything. That was just pure demo. But I'm not mad. I already there's no difference if I take it or not. I already got my trading day. Was it correct to wait for 1400 to confirm C3? Dude, what is happening? To confirm C3 or enter the V shape during the 1 hour shrink. Okay, that keeps I gotta stop looking over there. During the 1 hour shrink search SMT and assume that if silver doesn't take it out previous. Yeah, it is correct, yeah. Because this shows wow, it's gonna reach this drawn liquidity too. But I wouldn't have held. Like if I really did take this, I would not have held to here. I would have just TP'd to right here. I can't even like hindsight that. There's no way. But yeah, since gold was the weakest and it made the failure swing SMT and the bearish close, you expect this asset to hold it. But since silver also closed as a C2, um, it's not ideal. It takes the high, right? Because that would just be creating a large wick, and large wick doesn't allow for expansion. So it's a good thing that silver just also played along with the C2 closure, C3 shallow wick expansion. We sold early, bro. I mean, I didn't even get an option to manage my my position. It closed it on its own. Yeah, this I'm not gonna lie, we still have a whole nother hour, power hour. Like this is probably gonna go for 8R, or actually, yeah, 8R, almost 9R. Who do I fight? Oh, you just mismanaged that. You went break even pretty quick there. Do you see a weekly talk about SSMT uh, from the higher low of week a lot of times? Do you? Not really. I usually see like a 4 hour PSP or like SMT, or even like I don't know. It's just you don't even need confirmations like that to confirm the higher low week. It's just like if it matches the profile, if we hit a key level, we open high to it, and like we reverse off of Monday's high, or like Monday reverses off of Friday's high, then like the higher week is more than likely in. And especially if you're gonna trade Tuesday, right? If let's say Monday Monday right here reverses from Friday's high, puts in a C2. If Thursday's profile supports a bearish day, then this is more than likely going to be high of week, right? We're going to open high, low, close. We do have an intra week level now, though, being this daily gap. So we could use this to go back higher. But now you pay attention to Wednesday, right? Do we open high or open low? If we open low, that supports that basically validates this key level, right? This is our invalidation now for the current week, this daily gap. If it opens high, that means we're going to invalidate it and continue lower. If we open low, that means we validate it and we're going to use it and respect it to go higher. I'm okay. Yeah, you're right. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta be careful. I can't be taking demo trades. I didn't think that many people would still take it. I mean, it was a valid trade though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not mad at it. How do you pace which trades you take? Like you you hit one. This is yeah, I'm usually done after one now because I don't have to take take trades individually between or across firms. But if I take a loss, then I'll allow myself one more. And if I take a win with that loss, then I'm off. If I take a win, regardless, no matter what, I'm off. If I take a loss, I'll allow myself one more. And it still has to be like a valid sequence, right? Um, if there's nothing, then I'll just get off, right? I don't have to take another opportunity. It's just if it's given, then I'll take it. If not, then I'm off. Is SMT valid for NQ and gap to go lower? Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm watching this in Asia. This 4 hour gig. It's not the best that we're expanding PM right now. Ideally, we just stayed right here. Yeah. But if YM stays right here, opens high, 2-stage fill, won't be bad. It's just that I don't like. I like when trading Asia when PM's phase of price is like consolidation, right? I don't like expansion met with expansion, which is a reversal, but I mean in continuation. I like to be positioned with a retracement, confirmed high, continuation, or just consolidation, manipulation, and then expansion. Yeah. If this runs all the way down here, then I'll be a little butthurt, but yeah, it's probably gonna get there. GC's melting. Yeah, I get that we wait. I get that we trade. How do you confidently take a trade without a daily profile? Yeah, you use PM session. That's what I literally what I just showed you guys, right? Um, I kind of answered that without letting you know, but basically, I would prefer PM to already have put the phase of price in to allow Asia to immediately just open and expand. But if PM just expands, then you gotta allow for Asia to kind of make the new phase of price of retracement or consolidation, right? Being the continuation signatures, and then cap that off with SMT and then trade the expansion. Okay, let me jump ahead. Can you go over this trade just joined? Yeah. So seek and destroy signatures on. Okay, hold on. Let me put gold over here. I don't like gold over there. Okay. Seek and destroy signatures. Right. We open low, take out current. This. Wait, I think this is a daily gap, right? Yeah, we take out this daily gap here. So we take out previous day low. Then we immediately reverse, take out current day high. So this is a signature of consolidation or seek and destroy, where we just take out highs and take out lows. So with this manipulation of this high, we actually have an advanced premium discount sequence. So silver is in this gap while gold's at the range high. Following that, we actually get a strength switch. So on the 30-minute, this candle here is bearish and this candle here is bullish. So this could mean two things. Either we use this strength switch to go higher or we reverse. This profile supports what? Lower because it's seek and destroy. So obviously, if you take this reversal, I'm not mad. That's why I said 9 a.m. was very nice because it makes sense to go lower. With that, in continuation now, we get a strength switch. So you could see this internal level. It's taken by silver. With silver taking it, we get a new phase of price of retracement. This retracement is capped off by an SMT fill. So silver fills this gap and closes bullish. Gold makes a failure swing, closes bearish. So new 4 hour being 1400, opening up C3, C3, and then 4 hour C4. All assets V shape. I think I took it on the 3-minute. Yeah. V shape reversal here, propulsion block, gaps being created. Right? We V shape here, gap. And yeah, you would obviously, we're trading a model inside of a model. So we have our external draw, but given today's conditions, I personally was only holding until here, uh, which it does end up obviously getting hit, but you could hold, but like even hindsight, like being completely honest with you guys, like I'm probably not holding that. Like if I didn't have a trading day, I would literally just take it here, take the trading day, get off. I wouldn't assume gold to get down here, but it makes sense, right? Because silver failed to manipulate it already. This same low is this low, is this one actually, but they're not really symmetrical right now. But silver already failed to manipulate it. Silver actually still has a draw on liquidity too. So, right, it makes sense to continue lower, but so late in the day, so I don't know. Yeah, this would have hit for 8R. Wow. Well, there you go. First. Oh, wait, no. This is not even live analysis. Wow. I still took a trade. But I think Garrett had live analysis Monday. The silver average in January gave me my first payout. Oh, you got your first payout with this? You gotta post it in testimonials. That's fire. Congrats, bro. Dude, okay, I know now to not take demo trades on stream. Because you guys are actual. I took it on demo and I told everyone I'm taking it on demo, but they still took it on their fundeds. And it played out. Well, if they copied me to the book, they should have took 2R. But if you held, you got 8.6R. Took all day. Ooh. Oh, you took it from the. Oh, okay. Nice. Oh, and then you added in when I told. Oh, fire. Nice. You see, this is what I mean. Like if you catch one of these, you're set for literally the whole payout cycle. Like you front run the entire payout until you get moved live on a firm. I took it on demo because no, because it doesn't make a difference for me to take it. I already have my trading day on my firms. Um so like I don't make any more money taking this. I'm gonna make the same amount. So I don't really that's why I don't really care if I miss big moves like this. So I just took it on demo. And I took it on demo because I didn't want anyone else taking it, but apparently that doesn't matter. For eval, when trying to pass with 50% consistency, should we just wait for just be aiming for 2 high probable trades? Yeah. Just what you would take on a funded. Just trade them the exact same. Because it doesn't matter what I get my balance to, I'm gonna be getting the same amount of money. Like, for example, um, I mean, a bunch of firms like Top Step and all that, they move you to live, right? So if I have, let's say, 100K buffer, like I'm only gonna be able to pay out. For example, if I these Lucid, you can only get 6 max payouts and then you can move to live. Unless you cycle, but there's no point of doing that anymore. They actually monitor um, your max payouts between the firms. But if I have 100K balance buffer, let's say, I'm not making any more money because I'm going to get the 6 payouts regardless. I'm making the same amount. So trying to stress about catching every move, there's no reason if I'm making the same amount of money, right? Not trying to say no about, but you turn trades like that in live analysis or kind of like how Lens did it. I'm doing it like this. All right, so there's no difference. So 6 max payouts on a 50K is 14,000 buffer. That allows for 6 max payouts. That 14,000 balance is no different than a $1 million balance. You're getting the same amount of money. Is basically the best way to put it. When you get moved to live on Lucid, you just blow it. That's what I was doing, but I think I am in the process of getting moved live. I'm not gonna lie because my last set I tried to cycle. They didn't let me buy new evals, so I was assuming they were just gonna let me. Like every time I would buy it, it would just say like a message would pop up, and then I emailed them and they just fixed it. But I thought it was like I was getting moved alive. But I think now probably more than likely will. Because well, the way I cycle, I don't do it like dumb. When I did cycle, I didn't just get 5 max payouts and then blow all of them. I did it. I would get like 5 of. Uh, Sorry, I'll get the max payout across the 5 accounts like 2 times, and then I'll blow like 2 or 3 of them, and then I'll get max payouts 2 more times on those 2 or 3 accounts I have left, and then I'll blow those. So it looks like legit, right? Instead of literally just getting one max payouts all the way up to 5 because you can get 6, and then just blowing them all like that's obvious. What's wrong with going live? Nothing really. With Lucid, it's actually not a bad thing. But like other firms, it's you're making less money, basically. All right, probably gonna end it here soon. Give it like 2 more minutes. Been on here for 2 hours now. Can you show top down? How did you frame this trade? It's in the recording. Wow, yeah, this trade really hit for 8R. Like, even just one contract, you're making $2,000. You said 2,600 for a risk of 300. Oh yeah, that is wild, and it's still going. Like for example, this would be 600 risk. You make 5,000. This one trade sets you up for 3 max payout. Actually, this basically sets you up for all 6 of them because you just get your trading days now, and those trading days are equivalent to the remaining buffer you need for those max payouts. But yeah, this is like exactly what I was saying to you guys. Obviously, this trade, in reality, and like being brutally honest, I would have risked 2 contracts, so 500, and I would have just taken it to here. But if you did partial one here and hold a runner, like that's what is this? This was like 600 and then make 2,005. You're making like 3,200, right? From just one trade, literally just one. Why you ET less money when live? Oh, make more. You make less money because of you have one account first of all compared to 5. You can make whatever you make is what you take, right? But they have like daily loss limits and stuff, so it's like harder to make more. So like in 5 days you can make 10,000, right? In if you're on sim funded, but live, it's honestly not that big of a difference. It's literally just like daily loss limit because it depends on what they give you. If you have like $1,000 daily loss limit, which I don't know if that's like even, I don't think that's, it's usually like they give 3,000, but 1,000, right? And you make 3 to 4 hour a day on this high probable setups, you can make a lot. I imagine you're on firms with no consistency rule. Ideally you want to be, but no. On Top Step, I have 40%, which I kind of am mad I chose that option. I should have just done the basic option, but it's not that bad. I'm cycling Top Step though. That's what I used to do as well. My first trade I hit for like it was like 1 gold short, and it was like I think it was like 13R, and it made my whole buffer in one trade. I think it was like 5,000. And now I literally just get trading days. But the max payout, so Topstep did a deal. It was like Splash told me about it. I already forgot it. It was like, oh yeah, if you do a daily loss limit, you can get a bigger payout. So my payout caps on 150K is 12,000. So I would have to have a $24,000 balance, so I still have to. I mean, no, I'm not gonna leak my balance, but yeah, basically yes. After that, it's the DL for the double max payout, and it's like 3,000 DL. I'm not risking 3,000 every day. I mean, now I could, but I have a consistency rule, so I have to make every 3 days. If you play the cards right, it's like 9,000, and you can have like a 40% consistency, and then every 3 days you could take out 60,000. Yeah, but if 150Ks, it's 12,000 AB. Yeah, it's kind of wild, and it's every 3 days instead of five. So like 60K, but like Top Step, they're gonna move you live. Especially if you're already like previously live with them, or they previously have like flagged you, they're gonna move you live like probably after you, like, they monitor balances. They don't even monitor payouts. They monitor balances, and before you're even able to pay out, they will just move you live. Like, um, if you ever, that's why you don't ever get like high. That's another reason to not just get super high balances. It's because they monitor balances mainly. They don't monitor like, they do monitor payouts, of course, but they monitor the balances more because those are the people that are gonna rinse them. So just get like the bare minimum balance every time, and then you're not a red flag to them. And then you milk them, and then once they realize you're milking them, then they'll take you to live. What's up, you John? All right, I'm running the recording.